Alright guys, welcome back to the channel. It's Maddie here, and yes, the new expansion to Pokemon Pocket A4, Wisdom of Sea and Sky, has officially been released. I hope you guys all opened all of the cards that you want to open. Comment down below what pulls you got, I would love to hear it. In today's video, we're talking about what I believe is the strongest new deck to come out of this expansion coming into this new season. Now, the baby Pokemon and a lot of these support Pokemon that came out in A4 are definitely going to upgrade some previous decks that already existed, so I wanted to cover like a brand new deck list, which is going to be, of course, Crobat EX. I think a lot of people have been really excited about Crobat, and personally, I do think it's probably, if not, it's hard to tell, obviously, you know, it hasn't come out yet, but I do think Crobat's going to be absolutely phenomenal. It's basically front-loaded Charizard. Let's go ahead and talk about it. Here's the deck. We are playing Crobat EX just like we play Charizard and Solgaleo. That is sort of a proven package, which is why I sort of went in that direction with Crobat. We have two Sylveon EX and then two of the new Find a Friend Eevee. I think this is a direct upgrade from the Draw a Card Eevee. Personally, we've got two of the new Zubat here with Venomous Fang, and then we have Crobat EX with, of course, Venomous Fang as well. We have one Nihilego, two Rare Candy, two Pokeball, one Giant Cape, two Professor's Research, two Lily to heal up our Crobats, and then a Cyrus and a Sabrina. So a very standard deck list here. And no, we're not playing Darkrai EX in our deck. We'll talk about that in just a second. We'll get to the gameplay, but I want to go ahead and cover the deck. So for anybody that doesn't know, let's pull up the Rainbow Rare Crobat that we pulled last night. Crobat EX is basically a super aggressive Stage 2 Pokemon that we're going to play with Rare Candy. Dark type, 170 HP, Venomous Slash. For only one energy, we do 70 damage, and your opponent's active Pokemon is now poisoned. So effectively, that's 80 damage, but we are playing Nihilego to boost, rather, this damage, the poison damage, a little bit extra here, right? With more poison, the ability from Nihilego. So that 70 damage plus poison is 80, but plus Nihilego is 90, and that's, of course, really aggressive. That's going to 2-hit KO a lot of Pokemon. That's really what Crobat is all about. That's why I call it front-ended Charizard. It's basically the same exact deck in function. However, Charizard, you have to bring it in and then you have to stoke, but when you do stoke, you hit for 150, so it's a little bit of like a backloaded deck where it's a little bit better on turn 3 and turn 4. Crobat is all about, you know, KOing and getting really early damage, and it's really fast-paced and it's really, really strong. So again, a very simple deck list, basically kind of copy and pasted from the overall sort of build structure that we take from the Solgaleo and Charizard decks, which already exist in the format. We could play this deck list without Sylveon, but quite frankly, I think that if you're playing a Stage 2 Rare Candy deck like Crobat, which is already a hyper-aggressive card, when you're playing aggro decks like this, you need to be hyper-consistent, and that's what Sylveon is really all about. This deck is playing only Dark Energies, and we're not playing Psychic Energies. Technically, we would be able to attack with Sylveon, but it's more important to attack with Crobat. And it's a really simple deck. It's just aggressive, right? I mean, fast-paced, aggressive, you evolve with Rare Candy, you start attacking, you do some chip damage, and hopefully you get some early KOs. The cool thing about Zubat as well, one thing that I noticed when I was testing this deck earlier, is that Zubat with Venomous Fang does 10 damage and it poisons, but if Nihilego is on our bench, that adds up to 30 damage, and that is actually going to KO a baby Pokemon, which again is very relevant. And again, we could play Darkrai EX in this deck list. I know some people were thinking about it. There's a lot of extra energies that we're not really using with this deck, so Darkrai would make sense, but I do feel that it sort of adds a lot of inconsistency to the deck list, which again, I wanted to focus around a maximum sort of consistency version of this deck list. I do think Darkrai would be pretty nice. There's going to be some matchups where Crobat struggles for sure, but there's going to be some matchups where Crobat does extremely well. We're playing Giant Cape. You could play Dark Pennant, but I honestly don't really feel like Dark Pennant is that relevant for Crobat at least. Like, we're playing more of an aggressive damage-based deck, not a control-based deck. Crobat also has 170 HP, and with Lugias and Dragonites running around, I would like to bring that HP up to 190, so we're not getting 1-hit KO'd by Lugia. So that's the idea here. Again, this is just sort of a general core concept. I think once we kind of get into the metagame in the next few days, in the next few weeks, I think that Crobat will evolve, and it probably will look different than this list as time goes on, but for right now, this is the list that I'm kind of going with here. A little bit more basic. You could spice it up a little bit, but again, maximum consistency Crobat. Now, the rank season hasn't started yet, guys. It starts, I believe, tomorrow. So what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and we're just going to play some random battles with Crobat. And we're going to try to showcase exactly what this deck can do. We got to select it, of course. Let's go all the way down here. There's our Crobat. I can't wait to play this deck listed. By testing, it's been very consistent, and I really do like it. All right, guys, let's hop into a game. Let's showcase Crobat and what it can do. I did play one game already, and it ended in about 2 seconds, and I'm not going to tell you who won that game. Let's hop right into it. So the idea here of playing like a maximum sort of consistency version of Crobat is that we're kind of we don't know exactly what the meta is like right now. So like putting in specific tech cards for certain breakpoints and certain matchups, like we don't really know, you know what I mean? There is no sort of ranked meta currently at the moment. Let's take a look at our hand here. We're leading with Eevee. We're going second and Zubat. So since we're going second, I do believe it makes sense to just lead with Eevee. It's the same thing with Charizard, right? If you're going second, it's always better to lead Eevee. If you're going first, it's sometimes better to lead with Zubat, but we do have Lily, Crobat EX, and Giant Cape in hand. Our opponent is going first, so let's see what we do here. The one thing that I'm afraid of, okay, our opponent just passes as we top deck the Pokeball. Okay, so we are going to be able to find a friend here, and again, this is why Eevee is so good. The Nihilego comes down, so we're thinning Pokemon out of our deck with Pokeball. I think that the bench that we want to go for here most of the time is 1 Sylveon, 2 Crobat, and Nihilego. We would like to force our opponent to go through double Crobat. It doesn't always work like that, but I think that's sort of the idea. I'm going to immediately just put the Giant Cape on Zubat, quite frankly, here. And we're going to find a friend, and hopefully this is Sylveon, because we have Crobat in hand. It could be another Eevee, could be another Crobat, or another Zubat, and it's Sylveon. Okay, perfect. So again, a perfect illustration why this Eevee is absolutely broken. I think from just a mathematical standpoint, it's like entirely better than the draw card Eevee. I think for now, if we were to get a card that like an item card that searches for evolution Pokemon, then maybe we play the draw card Eevee. But for now, oh, looks like we're playing Umbreon. Okay, so we're about to get locked into the active spot, but it's only basic Pokemon. So we're going to evolve and retreat. And I'm not worried, and I'll tell you why. It's because we're gonna Sylveon here, and then we're gonna draw into rare candy. So what's gonna happen? Let's go. Let's see. Sylveon comes down. We can retreat now because we're not a basic Pokemon. We're playing in random battles, so we never really know. Okay, so no rare candy is tough, but we're thinning all of the basic Pokemon out of our deck at least. And there we go. So we have a couple of options here. I don't know exactly what we want to do. I'm trying to think. So we could bench this Eevee, go into it, but then we're locked, right? But basically we have a 50-50 chance if we go into Eevee and then we find a friend to find a second Sylveon. That would be a very aggressive strategy, but then it would only leave us with 1 Crobat on our bench. But 8 cards in deck, we have both researches in the deck. That might be the best strategy. But if we don't pull Sylveon, it's a 50-50 chance. So if we don't draw Sylveon there, then unfortunately our Eevee goes down, and that would be, not ideal. So I think we're going to play it safe here. We can play aggressive next turn if we need to. And I'm just going to bench the Zubat. I'm going to attach to Nihilego, and we're going to just actually stay in here. Yeah, we're going to just stay in, and we're going to do this. So again, we could have played the aggressive strat there. We could have gone into the other Eevee and had a 50-50 chance to pull the Sylveon. The Dark Pennant comes down, so that is definitely really, really cool. Our opponent just attaches to the active. So again, I'm not really... Silver comes down. Is he going to pull Lily or Cyrus? I would rather him take Cyrus right now currently. Okay, that's fine. Dark Pennant and and Silver is really interesting. Going to be really, really annoying in a lot of different decks for sure. A lot of different dark decks. We top deck Rare Candy, which is perfect. Okay. So our patience sort of paid off, which is good. So the upside here with Crobat is that we can always just attach 1 energy and get it set up. It would have been nice to get this attack off last turn. That would have been the most ideal situation, but of course we didn't draw the Rare Candy. So we're going to go into Crobat now and just hit for 70, but this is actually going to be 90 damage with Nihilego, and that's going to be really, really nice here. We also have Lily in hand, which is super, super good. However, he is going to pull 1 card out of our hand, and hopefully it's not the Lily because we would rather have Lily. Okay, he took the Lily. Oh, that's fine. It is what it is. It is what it is. So we have double research still in our deck. So we've got a Crobat in the active here. I don't know what he's going to bench. I don't know what else he could be playing in his deck. He could just be playing Darkrai or something. Who knows? But this isn't ranked battles, right? And this is like day 1 of the meta. So we're probably going to see a lot of really, interesting deck lists in this video. Eevee bag comes down. I think he's just using this to deal damage. Oh no, he is going to heal. I don't know if he's going to be able to stay alive for this. Double Eevee bag, maybe Pokemon Center Lady would be crazy. He still is going to die though, because he's taking 20 damage. He's going to get knocked out rather. He's going to take 20 from poison. Oh, and he's got the red. Okay, so I think that's just GG, unless he has another Pokemon to bench. Yeah, okay, all right. It is what it is. So the Silver Dark Pennant strategy is interesting. I think it works better for things like Guzzlord than it does for Crobat. Again, you gotta understand that Crobat is meant to be really like fast-paced and aggressive. You could play like the Dark Pennant Silver stuff, but it's not really about that. It's about being like really consistently strong in the early game. Where something like a Guzzlord, I think Dark Pennant Silver makes a lot of sense because it's already kind of a control deck and we're discarding energies. Maybe we'll talk about that video later on. because I think that Guzzlord is crazy, and it's definitely something that you know, we should be talking about at some point, because I think that deck's gonna be nuts. Anyway, we're going second again, so let's see what we lead off with here. We lead off with double EV Pokeball, which is definitely pretty cool. Like I said, it's not always worth it to go like double EV, just because we want to like potentially go through. Okay, we're playing Bayonet, which is interesting, but I think we should be okay with Bayonet. We'll have to see. We'll have to see. I mean, we're gonna just get bodied because we don't have any way to switch out or anything if he discards multiple energies, but we'll just stack energies up on our Pokemon here early on. So let's see. The Zubat comes down, which is nice. We do have rare candy, so we could just completely pop off next turn. Nihilego is fine. It's not an evolution Pokemon, which is actually kind of bad. I would rather that than Sylveon and or Crobat. But anyway, Nihilego. Like, even Nihilego kind of reduces the consistency of the deck, but I do think it's needed, of course, for things like Oricorio and the extra damage. So yeah, we're just going to go ahead and put this down, I think. For sure. With Nihilego, I think that Zubat might be able to just KO with Poison and then doing 30, right? So it's 30-30. I think Zubat would just KO Shuppet, which could be pretty funny. But we're going to find a friend here immediately. He could pop off with Bayonet next turn, right? I mean, he certainly could do that. There's the Sylveon, so that's good. Okay. All right. Oh, wait. No, I don't know why I was saying Crobat or Sylveon with the Poke. We played a Pokeball. I thought I was confused there for a second. We didn't have any chance to pull anything other than a basic Pokemon there, so that makes sense. Okay, let's see what he does here. This is going to be Bayonet and probably Sylveon to draw through his deck quickly. This is his second turn, so he might be able to go and pop off with Sylveon, draw a bunch of cards here, get Bayonet going. But we're also able to pop off next turn, so let's see if we can make that happen. Okay, Bayonet comes down. But does he have Team Rocket Grunt? Is he going to lock in the Eevee here? The Sylveon comes down. That's interesting. Okay. Very interesting. I like actually Sylveon with this deck. This is a cool deck list. I think this is really cool. So if he doesn't go, oh, he Sabrina's. That's really good for him. Okay, so Sabrina is awesome. That's an awesome play. I think we have to just feed him Nihilego here. I think we have to go Nihilego because we can't give him the Zubat. We can't afford to. So I guess we're just going to let him KO Nihilego. But Crobat should just be able to sweep through Bayonet. So I think this is probably fine. It is what it is. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, it's fine. I would rather you just KO the Nihilego than the Crobat, honestly. And now we're just going to pile up energies on the Zubat to try to play around the, you know, Team Rocket Grunt and Bayonet stuff. Because we're going to be one-hit KOing the Bayonets here. So let's draw two with Sylveon. And let's see if we can draw the Crobat. There's another Pokeball and a Sabrina. Okay. Let's thin the deck with Pokeball. I don't think Sabrina is going to be really useful right now, personally. He's got 0 cards in his hand as well. Now, what I am afraid of is, like, getting Marsed or whatever. So I don't know if we really want to play these Pokemon. I think a single Crobat is probably going to be enough to win this matchup. So I might just bench this Eevee in the case that we top deck a Sylveon. Yeah, we're going to bench the Eevee, and then I think we're just passing here. And we're going to let him KO Nihilego if he can next turn. If not, whatever, we just get another turn. We need Crobat, though. We definitely need Crobat to win this game here. Sylveon is weak to Metal, so it's not actually weak to Dark, which is a little bit scary because we can't one-hit KO Sylveon. Okay, there's the top deck of another Sylveon EX. Let's draw some cards. We're going to continue to attach to Zubat here. Again, just to try to, you know, work around this stuff. There's the rare candy, but we do not have Crobat. Okay, so we've got 5 cards in deck with double research, double Crobat is interesting. Very interesting for sure. And I think, yeah, we're just passing again. Okay, all right. This might get a little dicey here. We've played both Sylveon. We have 5 cards in the deck, but we do not have Crobat yet, which is a little bit scary here. Sylveon EX comes down for him. Okay, so he will be drawing some cards. That's definitely relevant. The Bayonets we're going to be able to deal with pretty easily, and we have Lily to keep Crobat alive. So all we need, I think, is to just go into Crobat, and we're going to be okay. I hope. But that's sort of my hope here. He could get lucky on a Team Rocket Grunt and discard all of our energies, and then if he does, then it's GG, right? That's what this comes down to, basically. Okay. Yeah, he's going to take 1 prize. Or not 1 prize, but he's going to take 1 point. Okay, so now we're in a really interesting spot where we're forced to go into Zubat regardless. Actually, no, we can go into Sylveon and retreat. Just in case, but do we do that? Yeah, that's fine. We'll do that. All right. Research or Crobat? Okay, there's a research. All right, very likely that we draw Crobat here. So there's one and there's two. Okay, sure. That works. So now this is good. We can get 3 energies on the Zubat, which is really nice. And then we'll rare candy and go in. So we should be pretty protected. We also have 2 lilies in our hand. So I like our chances here. However, a Sabrina is probably, a second Sabrina would win him the game here now that I'm just realizing that. Which means we have to bench a single prize Pokemon in a Zubat, and we're not going to evolve it in case he has another Sabrina. Well, you got to keep that in mind. He's already played one, but he definitely is playing a second Sabrina. So we're going to go into Crobat and then just Venomous Slash and take the KO. Like I said, we have Lily, we have the Zubat here in case he plays Sabrina, and we just have to get lucky in him not flipping a bunch of heads with Team Rocket Grunt. That's literally the strategy. But if he goes into Sylveon here, he's going to do some damage, but again, that's fine. We'll just Lily up and we'll survive. Yeah, he's going to go into Sylveon here. Okay. So this is fine. I think we're good. I think we're in a fine spot. Crobat's really fun. It's really consistent, and I think it's going to be really good against these sort of mid-range decks. Like, that's the thing about Crobat, is it's kind of like a cross between these sort of rare candy mid-range decks and aggro decks. And it's going to be really strong in that sense here. Okay, so what's a little bit scary now, of course, is that he's going to be able to attack me again for a lot of damage. And I don't love that. So I think what we have to do is Lily. But again here, like, this brings us up to 150, so he can't do 150. But we're not KOing him right now, which is, again, like, really rough, and a little bit sketchy here. We have an energy now on Zubat, so I guess what we can do here is just rare candy into Crobat. We could actually just retreat into it too. Does that math really work out? I don't know, actually. Because then we lose to Cyrus, I think. We're probably going to end up losing to Cyrus regardless here. Because he's going to hit me for hard enough. Because he's probably going to have Sylveon EX. I am just going to rare candy into this Crobat. And I think we got to go into it. Just to potentially live. If we had Nihilego, we would want to kill the Sylveon, but unfortunately our Nihilego got locked in the active. We're going to go into this Crobat just because it has more HP. It might not matter, but I think technically that's the correct play here. Now the upside is, unless he heals here, which he might have EV bag, but unless he heals, the Sylveon goes down next turn, which does give us a distinct advantage. We don't have Mars or anything though. So again, we probably will lose to Cyrus. Yeah, okay, so the Sylveon EX comes down. He's going to do the full damage with this Sylveon hitting for 130, and then if he has Cyrus, which he probably does, then I think we just sort of lose this game, which is pretty rough. Honestly, we kind of got bodied by the, the old Sylveon combo there. We can Lily. I don't know. He's hitting for what, 130 with this thing? It's 90 plus. Yeah, it's 90 plus 40, so 130. Yeah, it's interesting. I think we're just getting KO'd by Sylveon. I can't do the math quickly in my head. 170 minus 130 is 40 plus. Oh no, we actually are living. So this was the correct play going into this Crobat, because if he doesn't get rid of Lily or whatever, then Cyrus is in a win condition for him, which is pretty good. Also, the Sylveon just goes down at the end of the turn, which is also good. But because he has a second Sylveon, then Sabrina's not a win condition, right? So, all right. He's going to hit with Evo Harmony. That's 130. Again, that hurts, but Lily will bring us up to outside of Fairy Wind range, unless, of course, like I said, he has like EV Bag or Red or some way to deal more damage. He's going to go into Sylveon EX. He has to, which is fine. And we have Cyrus. So the Lily here, I think, wins us the game. Maybe not, but I think it gives us our best chance, quite frankly. So yeah, now we go to 100, and he might be able to extend for the KO here, but now Cyrus is in a win condition, which is pretty good. Okay. Sylveon being weak to Steel type is definitely clutch for him. But him KOing Nihilego early was also really clutch. That early Sabrina was big. Okay, can he hit for 100 here? He needs Red and EV Bag, I think. Or like double. Okay, yeah, okay. So that's GG, I believe, because we have Cyrus in him. All right, that was an interesting game for sure. Oh, PCL. Okay, so he's actually... Okay, so I think we might still lose here. Right? I think we still lose if he's got Cyrus. Oh no, the PCL is crazy. Okay, all right, that's nuts here. Okay, that's tough for sure. Well, let's retreat in case he doesn't have Cyrus. Okay, so the PCL might have won him the game. If he had PCL and he has Cyrus in the deck, it kind of would make sense if he does have Cyrus. I don't know if he does. Maybe we get lucky here. Let's play the Sabrina because we have Cyrus in hand. All right. All right. Hey, it is what it is. You know, the math just sort of did not work out for us in that equation here. And I don't think we got up and running like quick enough. I think we just sort of got Crobat out a little bit late, quite honestly. So yeah, let's go ahead, hit here, and he's gonna fall to 10 HP, and we're just gonna be just out of range, which is pretty tough. If Nihilego was still here, then this game would have been way easier, but I'm assuming he's got Cyrus, and that's gonna be GG from our opponent here. Let's see. Show me the Cyrus. Come on. Do it to me. Show it to me. Please. There it is. Okay, all right. We'll take the L there. We'll take the L. That was a very fun game, but Sylveon not being weak to dark was really clutch, and then us not having Nihilego that whole game was super clutch for him. So, you know, listen, you know, like Sylveon is good. It's definitely one of those things that Crobat will struggle against if you go up against, just because, like, without Nihilego, like, we're in kind of a tough spot there for sure. The Sabrina early on, giving him the Nihilego, I guess could have been a misplay, but we couldn't have brought up the Zubat. Maybe we could have. I don't think we made any wrong plays there, quite frankly. I think it just sort of ended up that way. I think Nihilego definitely would have been the win condition there. Maybe there were some misplays along the way. You guys will comment down below and let me know, but that was definitely still a very interesting game. Well, the ranked ladder, oopsies, what happened here? Oh, we're back. The ranked ladder is, or not the ranked ladder, but the random battles ladder early on in metas is super fun because you never know what you're going to go up against. And there's a lot of variety in the format right now, which is definitely really cool. We're going second yet again, and we're going against another Psychic deck. Is this the same opponent? I honestly don't know if it is or not. We've got Professor's Research, Crobat, Rare Candy, Lily in hand, and we're going second with an EV lead. So all of this is theoretically pretty good for us. Okay, we're playing Mesprit and Azelf. We're playing the Lake Trio deck, which is crazy, absolutely insane. But let's see how this matchup goes. Maybe this is another random matchup that we're gonna struggle with. Who knows? I don't, you know, there's no way to know. I'm keeping in the last game for sure. Just because, you know, just because we lost doesn't mean it's not a valuable game to show. You know what I mean? Okay, so I think here we always play Research. It's fine if he hits us for 20 damage. I don't really mind that too much. Nihilego comes down, which is cool. And we're going to Pokeball for the Zubat. Okay, this is literally all perfect. Everything about this is exactly what we want because the likelihood of us finding a friend for Sylveon is going to be crazy. So I think this is going to hopefully perfectly illustrate the massive strength of our deck and why the maximum consistency Crobat is going to be so good. Oh, it's not. Okay, I was really hoping that would be Sylveon, so we got like the perfect start. It is what it is. You know, sometimes it goes like that. You know, what are you going to do? If that was Sylveon, it would have been nuts here. We get Sabrina anyway, which is super funny. I don't know like what this Sabrina's doing here. I mean, I think we just go into Zubat regardless. I think. I mean, what can he KO us? What's going on here? Why wouldn't I go into Zubat? I don't know. He's just gonna hit for 20, right? I think we're safe. Ooh, Poison Barb. Okay, that's cool. He will do some valuable chip damage to us. But we're just gonna Rare Candy Crobat next turn. And then we could Lily as well if we wanted to. He hits the Eevee, which is interesting. Okay. There's another Zubat. Let's just pop into Crobat and take some KOs. You know, this is the turn 2 70 damage Crobat. Definitely one of the massive strengths with Crobat. Going first, which we haven't done at all in this video, but going first and getting the Crobat Rare Candy out is going to be pretty nuts. It's going to be pretty crazy. What does Azelf hit for? Hits for 160. I kind of want a Sabrina here. Is that crazy? I think we KO and then we Sabrina. Honestly, I think we hold it for sure. I'm just going to bench the Zubat. Oh, he conceded. Okay. All right. Yeah, that's going to be a tough one for our opponent there. I don't think the Lake Trio is a deck that loves going up against Crobat EX. Let's play one more game, guys. One more game. I know that these are sort of random matches. It's tough to, you know, pick out like what opponents you're going to play against. There's no way to know. This is the random battles, you know, before the ranked season starts. So, I mean, you know, you got to take things with a grain of salt. I think Crobat here is just super consistent, and it's just going to be really fun. Dr. X. Did we not just play Dr. X? Did we? No, we played Professor Poke or something. Dr. X. Have we played this person? I have no idea. Let's get right into it, guys. We're going first now. Okay, so let's see if we can make something happen going first. And we're leading Eevee. Okay. So that's not ideal. Going first, we would definitely rather lead Crobat, but not that we had sort of the combo here anyway. It's really no big deal. We're going to turn to Sylveon. Maybe we top deck a Pokeball or a Research here to... Hey, no, it actually doesn't really matter that much. The Research is big because we can't go into Crobat really anyway. Now, you could play like X-Speed in this deck, but I don't think it would be like that important, quite honestly. I don't think it would really change things like a whole lot. playing X speed. In a theory like this, like you would be able to just go into Crobat if you had the combo and you let Eevee going first, but you know, I don't know if it's really worth it per se. Like I think it's probably still better to play the other cards that are in our deck. Okay, so it's Giratina. I don't know what this is. I guess it might just be Psychic type Sylveon. Oh, we get red carded. That's big. All right, our opponent's popping off here with the red card. Red card is going to be still as strong as ever. Rare Candy, Lily, and Pokeball. Okay, so no Sylveon, which is good from our opponent. He's going to double up on Giratina, which is definitely pretty cool. Crobat should have a good matchup against Giratina, theoretically speaking. We top deck the Sylveon, which is hilarious. We're going to Pokeball first because we have Rare Candy in hand for sure. So we want to increase the odds of drawing that evolution Pokemon. I'm not going to bench this Eevee yet. Let's see what we draw here with the Sylveon. We would like Crobat and Nihilego, another Lily, and Crobat, which is good. Okay, so that's fine. We'll just immediately Rare Candy into the Crobat EX, and we will just attach to it. And, you know, theoretically speaking, do we want to bench this Eevee? Like, we don't have Nihilego yet. There's no guarantee. I think we probably just do bench it, just because, like, you never know if we're going to top deck in another Sylveon to go through our deck quicker. I think that's probably fine. But we are going to want, like, a second Crobat, I think, regardless. Just because, like, we can't come into Crobat and KO this Eevee. Because Giratina is going to come in and then 2-hit KO us. Although it does take damage after it attacks. So, like, the weakness... Okay, Cape comes down. But he capes the Eevee, which is also interesting. Okay. So, let's see what goes on here. Our opponent's just going to double up again. I don't mind letting him KO the Sylveon, but then we do lose to, like, Sabrina or whatever. Okay, so that's not great. We do have Lily, so we gotta think about something really quick here, right? We don't have Nihilego. I don't think we can go into Crobat here, because he's just gonna go into Giratina and hit us. So he's at 150. We hit him for, what is it, 90, plus poison is 100. We could force him to knock himself out. Like, with the poison, is it still better to do that? Genuinely curious. We don't really have anything off the top deck, though, is the issue, right? I think we are just going to do it. This might be the incorrect play, but I want to be aggressive here. I don't think passing is going to help us a lot, because if he just KOs Sylveon, it's not great. So it might have been better to just stay in the active spot, but honestly, we're going to go into this Eevee, deal damage. And yes, he's going to go into Giratina and hit us first, which will set him up to be able to KO Crobat before we can KO him. But we have an Eevee on the bench. We've got another Research in the deck, another Pokeball in the deck. The Jigglypuff comes down, so we might be playing Wigglytuff for healing, which is a bit scary, for sure. But he's just going to attach him to and retreat, right? But again, he's going to deal some damage. The Wigglytuff is going to be massive, though, because that's going to negate the extra damage that we kind of banked on. The last thing I expected him was to have the healing Wigglytuff. I'll be 100% honest. Maybe it's Wigglytuff EX, who knows? But yeah, he's going to hit us here. We can Lily, but Lily's not going to keep us alive unless we draw Giant Cape, if I am correct here. It even wouldn't anyway if we drew Giant Cape. Okay, so Sylveon comes down, which is really good for us. This is good because hopefully we can draw into like a Pokeball or a Zubat here, or even Nihilego would be really nice, but we definitely want Zubat. Research is good, and Pokeball. Okay, I'm actually going to play Pokeball first. And it is Zubat. Okay, so this is good. Okay, this is good stuff. We're not going to Lily. It's not going to help us. Sabrina and Giant Cape is very interesting. Okay. Okay, all right. We got to think about this for sure. We have to just hit. No Nihilego is a little bit scary. And for Sabrina plays, we might want to hold on to Giant Cape, or we might just want to put this onto Sylveon. 3 cards in deck with Rare Candy and Crobat in our deck is really bad. That's like kind of worst case scenario, actually. I'm going to hold Giant Cape for now, and I'm just going to hit him here. So we're going to do 90, plus poison is 100. So if he attacks us and if he doesn't have any way to heal and he attacks us, then he goes down, which is kind of best case scenario, but we'll see. If he heals here, then that's going to be kind of tough. Or if he has a second Giant Cape, or if he evolves this into the Wigglytuff and heals, like that's going to be bad. But then we can just KO with Zubat, right? Which is fine. But then, yeah. All right. Well, this is going to be a close one for sure. Giratina is still really scary. Giratina in a Psychic type deck is just terrifying. Like I said, we could have like not brought in Crobat to get damage off on the Eevee, but that's a possible win condition for later in the game because we have Cyrus. So I think it was kind of worth doing that. We did kind of force ourselves to play off the top deck a bit, but having 3 cards in deck with neither Crobat or Rare Candy is really bad because we can't actually, but there's zero chance that we can go into Crobat next turn. Like, it's really bad luck to have those 2 cards because it's a 2-card combo in the last 3 cards of our deck. So neither way, like, no matter what happens, we're not going into Crobat next turn, which is pretty bad. Let's see, does he find the Wigglytuff? He's got 6 cards in deck. He's definitely playing Sylveon. No Wigglytuff is massive, so he's going to trade for the KO here, and he's going to go down to the Poison, which is really, really big. That's huge for us, actually, because he's going to go down to the Poison. And theoretically speaking, if we top deck Nihilego, which is a card in our deck, then we can we can Cyrus for KO on this Eevee EX. Let's see what we top deck, okay? There's a 1 in 3 chance that we top deck for game here, which would be really fun. Oh, okay, that's tough. That is definitely unfortunate. All right, so now what's the question here? He's got 0 energy on the Eevee, so honestly, playing like a Sabrina here is probably also a win condition, right? It's a win condition either way. I'm gonna cape up the Zubat. What does Wigglytuff hit for? Does anybody know? Is it 70 damage? If it is, that's really bad. I don't even know. I have to look it up because I genuinely don't remember what Wigglytuff's attack is, which is hilarious. Let me look. I'm cheating real quick. Wigglytuff hits for 50. Unless it's Wigglytuff EX, but he can't attack next turn if it's Wigglytuff EX, so we're going with it. Although maybe he has Guzma. Guzma Wigglytuff KO would be really bad for us. It would. But now he can't do it anyway because we played Sabrina, right? So it is what it is. There's like a truck making a loud noise outside. I don't know if you guys can hear that. But anyway, we're going to Poison. If we had top deck Nihilego, then he would have been KO'd this turn, which would have been really funny. But I think we're safe regardless this turn, which is good because we have Cyrus in hand as a win condition, even if he evolves. He conceded. Okay, there you go. All right. Some really interesting games with Crobat. The matchups there were more than interesting. I know, it's like I said, it's tough. You know, the ranked season hasn't started yet. Everybody's like trying out wacky new strategies. So the deck lists that we go up against, of course, are going to be very interesting decks. They're not always going to be stuff that, you know, is like necessarily like top tier meta, you know, but I thought that we illustrated Crobat pretty correctly in this video. We won a couple games. We lost a game. You know, we kind of showed everything that Crobat has to do. I don't think we ever got the turn 2 going first Crobat off. But imagine that is certainly a possibility with this deck list. I think Crobat's really cool. Like I said, it's very much like Charizard, at least when you build it this way. But instead of doing 150 on like turn 3 possibly, we're possibly doing 70 on turn 2 very consistently. So it's really good. It's really cool to 2-hit KO Pokemon before they can even get set up. And I think Crobat has a lot of merit. I think that you could play Darkrai in the list. I know some people are going to say that you should play Darkrai, but it is going to reduce a lot of the consistency of the deck, which I'm a little bit hesitant to do that with Crobat. But like I said, maybe if we had it in a couple of these games, we would have won. You know what I mean? So there's always, you know, that kind of a balance, right, when you're building decks like this. Anyway, shout out to Rainbow Rare Crobat EX. This card is super cool. And I do think that Crobat will likely emerge as one of the top meta decks, if not the strongest, like, new deck coming in A4. Comment down below what you think of Crobat, what you guys think of this deck list. How are you building Crobat? What other decks are you playing? And don't forget to like and subscribe, guys. We're almost at 30,000 subscribers, which is absolutely crazy. So let's get out of here, guys. Peace out. Have a good one. Stay tuned. More videos coming in the upcoming days. And yeah, there you go. Bye.